Alright, so this is blog number 1. So what I wanted to start with was a little bit about my story, a little bit about my background, and why I'm deciding to do this. So over the last couple years of my life, I have found that it's very easy for man to be wrong. Not a man, just men, humans, people, whatever you want to say. It's very easy to be wrong. I'm a man, so it's easy for this man to be wrong. As I got older, I started to quit and go out on my own. I started to question things in the world. Started questioning how things worked. For the most part, I kept with it. It was easy to have some self-confirmation on a lot of stuff. Well, again, I'm going to focus in this video just on one story, and I'll probably talk about it several times because it was a pretty pivotal journey for me. But I'll just talk about it and I'll paraphrase, sum up. So I was raised Mormon, and if you haven't met anybody that's Mormon, you'll find that Mormon folks are good people. But if you learn about the religion, you'll find that the religion is peculiar, which is even the way that Mormons will self-describe it sometimes, as a peculiar people. But the rules are a little peculiar. And the doctrine is too. Now, I drank the Kool-Aid all the way. I mean, I was all in. And even when I was 19, after I graduated high school, I went on a mission for my church, or former church, and for 2 years, gave up 2 years of my life to go do that. And I had to pay for it. Well, not me, but my family, my parents. Because I had no money. I was just out of high school. And I went and did that, came back, and as time progressed, I started to question a lot of things. I started to wonder why. I just started to question the doctrine. I started to question why things were done the way that they were, and I started to do research. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but it'll come down to one pivotal moment. There's a particular piece of scripture that the LDS Mormon Church uses. It's called the Book of Abraham, and I was told that it was translated from documents. And now, for some strange reason, I always thought they'd been lost. I guess they were, but apparently they were lost because of a fire at a museum, and they were found. Well, I got to thinking, before I discovered that, well, I wonder if anybody's ever translated these things. So I looked it up and started doing some research, and I found out about that they had been lost, but they've been recovered. And now that they've been recovered, we can see they were in a language that people have now deciphered and learned and translated. I don't know if decipher is the right word, but anyway. So I was thinking, well, wow, this will be interesting. I can read this. Well, lo and behold, it was the total opposite of what, they were funeral documents, some of it, and it had nothing to do with what this scripture was. And I got to thinking, well, wait a minute, this was a lie. This is something I was told is scripture. This is something from God. This is something that Abraham himself wrote, and that God brought it to Joseph Smith, and he translated it, and now we have it here. Well, then I find out that it's false. It's fake. That rocked my world. So right there was a big critical moment where I realized, oh my gosh, something I believe my entire life can be wrong. Something I can believe wholeheartedly. That eventually led, I was already on the journey, but that just really pushed me further down to a journey of where I eventually came to no longer believe the LDS Church. I actually left the church. I'm out of it, so to speak. And I've gone on a whole new journey trying to figure out how religion fits in with myself and the world around me. But during that whole journey, I started questioning, well, if I'm wrong about that, if I could have been lied to about that, what else was I wrong about, and what else have I been lied to about? And I got to thinking, you shouldn't trust people. Not that you shouldn't trust, you should never trust. It's just, you should always have a little skepticism in the back of your head of just going, well, what if? You should ask questions. I started realizing that questions are so important, and there's nothing wrong with asking questions. Because if something is right, if something is true, it doesn't matter what your questions are. It doesn't change it. Give me a case in point. take a bottle of water. Again, you can see here on the bottom of it, there's a liquid in here. Okay, focus. Come on, focus. You can see there's a liquid in here. So I tell you it's water. Well, it could be all sorts of stuff. It could be vodka. Vodka's clear. It could be acid, because acid won't dissolve a plastic bottle like this. You don't know. So asking questions helps you learn things. But my questions of my wondering doesn't change the fact this is water. See? Water, see? But my questioning, my wanting to know doesn't change this being water. But it helps me in my understanding of knowing what it is. And it also helps me from being led down a false path. So it's been a very interesting several years as this has come about. And so part of what I'm wanting to do here, I'm going to wrap this up with this, whatever you call it, collection of my thoughts, is I just got to get them out of my head. Okay? And myself, being a former Mormon, I have Mormon family, a lot of this stuff is something I can't really talk about. And sometimes I just want to bounce things off, and so this is going to be a great place for me to just get my thoughts out. If you are watching this, or if anybody's watching this, great. But this is something where I'm just going to put my thoughts, something where I can kind of get these ideas out, and then maybe if somebody happens to see it, I hope that you're on the same journey of trying to discover what's true and what's accurate as well. So anyway, that's it for this video.